Welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Jolene. Welcome to the BB Breakdown with Jolene. That's me. Bring. I can't roll my tongue. Bring. Everybody hurts. I'm blocked. But I hold a cell phone like this, not like that. That's really old school. And it hurts just as bad being blocked by Dr. Will and his perfect skin because he got Botox.
Sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Jolene. That's me. I break down all things Big Brother. If this is your first time on my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe. Also, give this video a thumbs up and smash that bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. All right, so we have a lot of things to talk about today because if you have been on Instagram or Twitter, you have seen that Chilltown is officially disbanded. Mike Boogie from BB2, the winner of BB All-Stars, which was season 7, and then came back as a coach in BB14, has been all over Cameo. And if you guys don't know about Cameo, Cameo is a site that people can go to and pay their favorite celebrities, actors, things like that, people in entertainment that they like, to send messages to their friends and family. You can get a Real Housewife, or you can get Mike Boogie from Big Brother. And Mike Boogie has been putting out cameos, and people who are receiving these cameos have been sharing them, and he has been spilling some Big Brother tea. And I don't know how he's doing. Check out some of these cameos and then you guys tell me. Also, he's charging $19 a cameo. Is that a deal? It seems kind of like a deal, but maybe like a buy one, get one. I feel like he should have a BOGO for sure.
But Chilltown is disbanded. I don't speak to that other motherfucker. Not a good person. Not a good person at all. Done with his ass. And if you're a Big Brother fan, I think you're in for a treat this summer because you will see some familiar faces. Dun 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 dun. Not mine though. Those fools can't afford me. They can. They just don't want to cough up their funds. So I don't work for free because I ain't Swaggy C. You feel me? Boom! I hope the world gets better for you, and I'm sorry you missed out on prom and all that fun stuff, but it's way, way, way overrated. But I'm sure your mom already told you that. So go TikTok, put on your mask, be nice to black people. You know what I mean. Peace! If you are on Twitter, apparently, my friends are telling me I'm fat, I'm old, okay? I'm broke, I paid for gay sex, I'm in some big fight with Will. It's a lot of stuff out there. I do know one thing. I have a tennis court in my backyard. I have a nice pool. My life's pretty darn good while people sit home and type things in on a keyboard about strangers that they don't even know. It is awesome. I'm doing pretty good for a broke, fat, old guy.
But nothing will get you through a global pandemic and systematic oppression or whatever that shit is called. Nothing will get you through that more than a cameo with your man Mike Boogie.
So like you saw in these cameo videos, he says he doesn't talk to Dr. Will anymore. He is not a good guy. And a lot of people at first were like, okay, he's trolling. Clearly this is Chilltown trolling. We have an all-stars cast that is allegedly coming out this summer, and maybe they're both coming back. But you guys, no. I've been scrolling, whatever the right word is, the internet. And thanks to a lot of news articles and also at Tombs_BB, it appears that this is not a prank. This is real life. Chilltown. A lot of people would consider Chilltown the best, or at least one of the best alliances in Big Brother history. Mike Boogie and Dr. Will met on BB2, season 2, way back in like 2001. And they became friends. Mike Boogie was voted out pretty early. Dr. Will went on to win. They came back for BB All-Stars where Mike won. And outside of Big Brother, it appeared, and from what you can find online, that they were friends for a while, even appearing on an episode of Dr. 90210, which was a show that aired on I believe, and Dr. Will did one episode where he got rid of a genital wart on Mike Boogie's wiener. So it was a pretty close friendship. If I'm gonna show my genital warts on my wiener to my friends, we're probably besties for the resties. However, things haven't necessarily gone well for Mike Boogie outside of this game. There has been a lot of allegations. TMZ has reported on him quite a bit for problems he's had in business, from filing bankruptcy, for also having one of his business partners accuse him of embezzlement. Yes, Mike Boogie, if you guys don't remember, in the mid-2000s, Mike Boogie, and I don't know if he still works in restaurants. The last I heard was an interview he did with Jeff Schroeder where he was talking about the Phoenix, which is a bar, I don't know if it's still there, somewhere in Beverly Hills or Los Angeles. For a long time, Mike Boogie seemed to be killing it. He was a partner in the Dolce chain of restaurants, which included the Geisha House on Hollywood Boulevard and Les Deux. Now, Geisha House was huge. I remember being in my late 20s, going to Hollywood and being like, I gotta hit up Geisha House, because you saw it on television shows like The Hills, which was super popular at the time, and other reality TV shows, and it was a hotspot. He also was responsible for Les Deux, which was a very popular nightclub that was featured regularly on The Hills, which was a show that aired on MTV starring Lauren Conrad from Laguna Beach. And they were always at Les Deux. So it appeared as if Mike Boogie was killing it business-wise, but those very popular ones that used to be frequented by Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan and Nicole Richie, remember back when they would all party together and show their vaginas to everybody when they got out of cars and they were on their flip phones like hating on other women? Those were the days, and Mike Boogie was part owner of those establishments that they went to, where the paparazzi would always snap them going out of there when they were supposed to be in rehab. Once those businesses closed, Malin and his business partner Lonnie Moore were sued by their former partners and co-owners of Geisha House in LA. The partners said, according to TMZ, that Boogie and Moore embezzled from the club, gambling away hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for sex? Ow. Yuck. The lawsuit, according to TMZ, was salacious, saying the duo used company resources to have multiple sex encounters with various older men, during which Mike Boogie Malin, I think that's how you say his name, Malin, would live out fetish roleplay fantasies. Now, at the time, Boogie came back at this partner who was accusing him of all this stuff and says that she was actually trying to extort him. But ultimately, the case was resolved, and it was resolved with a judge deciding that Mike Boogie owed $800,000. 2018 comes into play in these stories because that was the year, according to TMZ, that Malin might have filed for bankruptcy. However, the judge in that court case said despite filing for bankruptcy, he would still be responsible for that $800,000. Now, I found other times when Mike was arrested throughout the years. In 2007, he was in Denver watching like the World Series because he's a Boston Red Sox fan. And so he's there watching the World Series. He went to a bar and allegedly assaulted a waitress. I also found that back in the late 90s, he was trying to be an actor and probably a rapper and just wearing a lot of baby blue. And I'm not talking like Justin Timberlake in Sync days, embarrassing baby blue. I'm talking like your dad showed up at the barbecue and none of his clothes were washed, so he was wearing his 12-year-old son's clothes and was like, hey bros, what's up? Let's do this. Let's party, yo. You the bomb. It was a lot of like try hard dad vibes. Now, on some of these older websites, they were reporting that in the late 90s, Mike Boogie and some friends would make fake badges and were caught, allegedly, sneaking onto Warner Brothers studio lot to try to film some of the new Batman and Robin that was currently in production at Warner Brothers. I'm like, what? It's so random. This guy has been accused of a lot of illegal stuff throughout the years. They would take this footage, allegedly, and sell it to like Inside Edition or shows like that so that they could leak it. Now back to 2018. Allegedly, The Amazing Race reached out to both Mike Boogie and Dr. Will, wanting them to appear. Mike Boogie said yes, but Dr. Will said no. Because if you don't know, Dr. Will is killing it. He's got a wife, he's got 2 kids, he's got this dermatology cosmetic procedure practice, and from the looks of his Instagram, it's going really well. And also, he's silver foxing out. Holy, that is some nice ass hair. At first I was like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh no, I'm still, yes, Dr. Will, yes. It's like a salt and pepper, it's like a beautiful ocean wave crashing on his flawless Botoxed forehead. And I'm just like, it's beautiful. Dr. Will's refusal to do the Amazing Race with Mike Boogie did not sit well with Mike Boogie because he started sending some disruptive and disturbing messages to Dr. Will, allegedly, who then blocked him. So this is 2018. The same year that the judge ordered that Mike Boogie has to pay $800,000, and that even though he filed for bankruptcy, he cannot get out of that $800,000. So it makes sense that maybe he would be mad, allegedly, that Dr. Will wouldn't do the Amazing Race because he wants that cash money. He wants to get back in the relevancy of reality TV, knowing how much you can make in that. So fast forward to last year, it appears as though Mike Boogie started sending messages to Dr. Will's family, probably because he couldn't reach Dr. Will. And these messages aren't just disturbing. They're like, is this going to be a Dateline episode? Is Mike Boogie going to be on 2020? This is some messed up, snapped BS. I'm scared for Dr. Will as I am reading through the protective order that was leaked online that Dr. Will allegedly filed against Mike Boogie. Dr. Will is accusing Mike Boogie of harassing himself, his wife, their kids, possibly threatening them, and also Dr. Will's brother, Ian Kirby. They also went on to list his sister-in-law, his niece, his other niece, and his mother-in-law. So in this order of protection, they included this timeline of events where they list the backstory to explain why they need this protective order. In 2001, more than 18 years ago when they filed it, Will and Mike met on a reality television show called Big Brother. Will and Mike, as well as Ian, Will's brother, remained friendly over the subsequent years. Will eventually went on to start a family, get married, and become a well-known physician. Ian also went on to get married and start a family and become a successful entrepreneur. Mike went through bankruptcy, a series of legal issues, possible arrest for assault, and rehabilitation for alcohol abuse, allegedly. Their lives eventually went in different directions and friendships slowly dissolved, but they stayed in occasional contact via text messaging. In approximately 2017 or 2018, CBS contacted Will and Mike to see if they would participate on another reality show called The Amazing Race as a team. Will declined and Mike became enraged because this meant that he wouldn't be on the show either. Mike sent disturbing text messages to Will during this time, but Will blocked his calls and texts, hoping that the problem would go away. And it did for a time. Like we said, it did in 2018 go away, but then 2019, it resurfaced. Then, according to this timeline, this series of events listed occurred out of the blue, unprovoked. On 8/15/2019, so last August, Will received very threatening emails from Mike, threatening the lives of his children at the school with a picture of Will's daughter's youth basketball team and a gun, as well as language referencing schools, target shooter, the NRA, being the National Rifle Association, the Second Amendment, and recently murdered musicians like Nipsey Hussle. Will recognized the seriousness of the photograph and that he and his family were in immediate danger. Will immediately went to LAPD police station, Pacific Division. An investigative report was filed per Will's request, but Will didn't get to speak to the detective directly. Will and his attorney contacted the FBI. Then the next day, on August 16, 2019, Ian received threatening emails from Mike, threatening his family, as well as the same picture of Will's daughter's youth basketball team and a gun, as well as language referencing schools, the NRA, the Second Amendment, and recently murdered musicians. Ian contacted the FBI. Ian went to the LB Police Department with his father to file a report. Will's attorney was contacted by FBI analysts who asked to be put in touch with the LAPD officer who took the initial investigative report. On this day, Dr. Desai, Will's friend in Houston, received a worrisome text from Mike about Will and called the FBI and Woodland Hills Police Department. Will's mother-in-law, Sue Brody, who has never met Mike Boogie, received worrisome text messages from Mike. Will and his attorney contacted a second attorney to obtain a restraining order as fast as possible. Because of the timing, Friday late afternoon, Will was informed that it couldn't be done, then, and that the process would have to be initiated on Monday, but that they would have to legally serve Mike to make the restraining order official. Will and his wife, for fear for their lives, put themselves and their children in one room of their home, turned off all the lights, slept on the floor, placed bats and a golf club next to their beds, locked and barricaded the door. Their niece, who was staying with them at the time, left for the night. That night, Ian received threatening texts from Mike with graphic pictures of a gun aimed at the head of Will's 6-year-old daughter and a gun aimed at the head of Will's wife. Ian immediately informed the LAPD and the Laguna Beach Police Departments of these new texts via email, and he informed Will, who was in hiding with his family. He also informed the FBI. Then the next day, Will woke up and saw the new texts that Mike had sent Ian at 6 a.m. Will immediately traveled to the police station to show threatening texts that Ian revealed, and he transmitted them to the LAPD per their request via email. He then went home to make arrangements to move his family and to make plans to move his family from their home into a hotel under a pseudonym. Basically what happened then is, with all this proof that they showed the police officers, they were able to apprehend Mike Boogie, and he was arrested. Mike Boogie was charged with making felony criminal threats, and Dr. Will was able to get his restraining order on Mike Boogie. Now, it also appears that they're due back in court for all of this in July of this year, so next month. So this is far from over. Now, I'm surprised this wasn't big news when it first happened, being that Mike Boogie and Will Kirby are household names in the Big Brother world, and I would think that would make the news. But since Mike Boogie has decided to start talking about Dr. Will again, people are investigating, and what we're finding is just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I cannot believe, I mean, I know it shouldn't be hard to believe that, you know, a grown man that dresses like that could, you know, do some weird shit, but this is next level weird. Also, I should mention, why does he keep making these really weird comments in his cameos about being nice to black people and then kind of laughing about it almost like it's a joke? Something's not right in Boogieland. This is like American Horror Story. Also in 2018, Mike Boogie was arrested for his, I believe, second DUI. Now, if you get on Twitter, you will see people just speculating and saying all kinds of things. And why does he keep rubbing his nose like that? And is it a little sugar booger cooker? What is that called? Booger sugar cook? You know what I'm saying, you guys. Little treat for the old nostrils. Is it a snowstorm and then nasal cavity? I mean, what is going on? Should I be expecting an email soon? And this was sent on May 3rd, 2018. You said it was coming, but you're busy posing with Michael Yo. So let me know. Michael Yo? The comedian actor Michael Yo? Oh man, be careful, Michael Yo. Be careful. You killed AR for me. Are you really trying to ignore me now too? I won't go away. Jeez, I'm scared. Like, I don't know if it's because I just am finishing up season 2 of Killing Eve. I won't go away. Just play some tennis. You have a tennis court and a pool in your backyard. Okay, Mike Boogie, if you're claiming that everything is fine and you're good, just charge a little more for them cameos. All right? And take a couple laps in the pool. I mean, God, I'm nervous. I just fell in a complete Big Brother hole. I never thought I would see Chilltown turn into an episode of a true crime podcast, but that's what it looks like it's devolving into. Hopefully this will de-escalate. Hopefully Mike Boogie will like find a good fedora and just forget about this shit. But I don't know, you guys. It appears as though he's going to keep talking about it on Cameo, and I'll keep reporting on it. But that's the latest news we have in the Big Brother world. Still talks of an all-star season, but the all-stars we're hearing about aren't very all-starry. Josh, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole mess. Thoughts out to Dr. Will. Take care of yourself, handsome sir. And you guys all take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. And I'll be back with another video very soon.